Then we go to the table 3. So the table 3 is ED length of stay for Canadian Triage and Accuracy Scale, CTAS. So you will see here the short term of CTAS. Basically, what that means, Canadian Triage and Accuracy Scale levels and admitted cases participating provinces and territories. So here has more explanation of the different scale. So the CTAS level 1, 2, 3, also for the discharge is not, with discharge it means not include admitted. So 1, 2, 3 level, this skill level include a patient with a triage level of resuscitation, emergent or urgent, and a visit disposition of discharged home. And they exclude the patient who were transferred to another facility and those who died. For the level 4 to 5, include a patient with a triage level of less urgent or non-urgent and a visit disposition of discharged home. So they also exclude the patient who were transferred to another facility and those who died. So from this annotation or explanation, okay, so we go back to admitted cases. Admitted cases include the patient who were admitted to the reporting facility and do not include the patient who were transferred to another facility. So it means, so if we go back to here, so you can see this number of the facilities, including teaching hospital, very large size community, medium size and small size community hospitals. And so facilities just include these various different hospitals, and they don't include the patient who transferred to another facility for the easier counting or the number summarized purpose. So by the definition, we can see, so the level 1, 2, 3 should be more severe than the level 4 to 5. And also this number means, so it means like 50% of the patient spend in the PEI for this level 1 to 3, they spend 2.9 hours or even less. For the Ontario, like 3.1 of this scale, like 50% of patients spend less than, for the Ontario, 3.1 hours. And for the level 4 to 5, from the definition, we know it's less severe, so we can imagine should be the hour should be less. And in case, and as the fact it is the case. So for the PEI, we can see 50% of patients spend less than 2.4 hours. But for admitted, so admitted, by the definition is admitted to the reporting facility. So for the PEI, so there are 9.7 hours. So means 50% of the patient, they spend less than 9.7 hours in the emergency department. So if we switch to another indicator, we can call it 90th percentile. So it means 90% of the total patient in PEI for the level 1 to 3, they spend less than 6.8 hours. For the level 4 and 5, because it's a little bit less severe, so they spend a little bit less time here, and 6.0 hours of the 60% of the patient, they spend less than 6 hours in emergency department. But for admitted, so why it has much higher hours? It's like for the PEI, like 44.7 hours of 90% of patient, they spend less in this time long, because admitted is is they have very severe conditions, it must be admitted to the inpatient services. So they cannot be, short time treated and then they are asked to go home because it's very severe. So now I'm hoping you understand what is the CTAS means. We recall again, it's called Canadian Triage and Accuracy Scale, the CTAS levels. So it shows different levels, right? So it means it's less severe, the more severe, and very severe of the patient's disease conditions. So then we change to the table 4. The table 4 is the number of ED visits and the length of stay, the loss, ED loss. So you fully understand these terms, like what I mentioned here, like CTAS and the ED loss. The importance is because in other Canadian hospital-related document, you will frequently see this short term. If you don't know what the short term means, you will not understand its real meaning. So by acute hospital, the pure group in the participating provinces, territories. So here I explain you what is a pure group means. So here for the different provinces and territories, so the hospital according to the size and can be divided into the teaching hospital, community large, community medium, and community small. So here I think they don't have some very detailed explanation of what they are, but I think pretty much by the name you can understand. So teaching hospital means it's a affiliated hospital belong to large teaching or research university. In Toronto here the case we know. So it's very large. The University of Toronto. It has a lot of large size, also world-renowned hospital like Mount Sinai Hospital, like the Sick Kids Hospital, or Toronto General Hospital, or Princess Margaret Hospital. So it is called the teaching hospital. It has very advanced facilities and professors. So the professors and also the doctors, they are in charge of the teaching to the medical school students, and they also do advanced treatment to the patient. So it's called the teaching hospital. But community large, community medium, so community small. So by the name you can see. So its facility level become smaller and smaller. So some community very large hospital, they don't have like the professor level of doctors. Then we go back to see the numbers. Okay, for the Ontario, for example, for the Ontario. So the overall include the non-admitted and admitted, right? So non-admitted, so it means it's not severe. The patient, their disease is not severe enough to get admitted into the inpatient service. So the overall number of inpatient is like this number, around 1.2 million. So like the 90% of the patient, they spend less than overall like 10.8 hours less. For the non-admitted, so non-admitted here, so if you plus these two numbers, non-admitted and admitted should be equal to the overall. So for non-admitted, like 90% of the population of the patient, we spend less than 7 hours. And for admitted, percentage of admitted, for admitted cases, basically it's much higher because it's need more treatment. It's around 30 hours. So the 90% of the patient, they spend around or less 30 hours. So this is a summary of the different participating provinces and territories. And so I already explained it. So if you divide it by different teaching hospital or community large, so you can see the numbers. So in the future, we will load all these Excel files into the data warehouse. So we'll do more detailed analysis. Then we change to the table 5. Table 5 is number of ED visits and the length of stay by the age group in participating provinces. Right, so it's divided by the different participating provinces and territories, and divided by the different age, to 0 to 4, 5 to 19, 20 to 64 years old, and older than 65 years old. So still we use Ontario as an example. So like very young age, between 0 and 4 years old, totally around 492,000 of overall of emergency visits. Again, you understand, so 90% of these very young age patients, they spend less than 4.8 hours overall. And here is non-admitted number of visits, and here the percentage of the ED visit, and here is hours of the 90th percentile, and here the same as for admitted. So you understand by different provinces. So the table 6 is the top 10 main problems. Top 10 main problems. So this is summarize the view of a different age group, different participating provinces and territory, and different facilities. You see these abdominal and pelvic pain, number of ED visited like 411,000. So this is 90th percentile for non-admitted and admitted. Open wounds and heads, different numbers. So 6B basically is pretty much the same, but just according to different provinces and territories.